online class of biology. So we were discussing about the chapter 2, sexual reproduction in plants. So we have already discussed the different topics like the parts of the flower, pre-fertilization events, in that we have studied about structure and events, parts of stamen, microsporangium and pollen grain structure, then microsporogenesis, pollen grain structure. Then we have already studied the structure of pistil, the parts of pistil, megasporangium, the structure of embryo sac. Then we also have studied about the pollination, different kinds of pollination on the basis of the sources of pollen and also based on the types of agents that helps in the process of pollination, isn't it? So we have also studied about the outbreeding devices the plants developed to prevent self-pollination and to encourage cross-pollination, and we also studied about the pollen-pistil interaction. So today in this video we are going to study about another topic, that is double fertilization. Double fertilization. So we have studied that after pollination, what is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the flower, isn't it? So after pollination, the pollen grain, I told it will grow down, isn't it? Pollen grain will grow down, that is known as pollen germination, isn't it? And it reaches to the ovule, isn't it? Through the style. And through the filiform apparatus of synergids, it enters into the egg cell. So after that, during its growth of the during its growth, that is pollen grain, when it is growing through the style, it produces two male gametes, isn't it, into the cytoplasm of the synergid. Synergid is having what? Filiform apparatus. We have studied filiform apparatus which directs the pollen tube to enter into the egg cell, isn't it? So in the cytoplasm of the synergid, the two male gametes will be released, and one of the male gamete that will fuse with the egg cell, and that is known as syngamy, fusion of male and female gamete, that is known as the syngamy, and this results in a diploid cell. That diploid cell which is formed due to the syngamy, that is the fusion of male and female gamete, is known as zygote. What it is? Zygote. Clear? Zygote is formed. Then the other male gamete, two male gametes are produced, I told, and one of that fuses with the egg nucleus, and it forms the zygote, and the other one that moves towards the polar nuclei. Do you remember polar nuclei in the embryo sac? 7 cells were there, isn't it? The cells which are near to the chalacer region is known as the antipodals. 3 cells will be there, and 3 cells will be there to the micropylar end, isn't it? 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. And there will be a central cell with 2 nuclei, isn't it? That is known as what? Polar nuclei. So these 2 polar nuclei are located in the central cell and fuses with them. The other male gamete, it will fuse with the what? The polar nuclei of the central cell. And so you can understand there are 2 nuclei in the central cell, isn't it? Each of that are haploid or diploid? They will be haploid. Why? Because they are produced after meiosis. So there will be 2 haploid nuclei, isn't it? Polar nuclei. And the male gamete is also what? Haploid. That also fuses with the polar nuclei and form a triploid. Triploid means what? There will be how many sets of chromosomes there in them? 3 sets. Okay, triploid primary endosperm nucleus will form. Okay, or PEN. Okay, as this involves three haploid nuclei, it is known as triple fusion. Okay, triple fusion. Very carefully you listen. And there are two types of fusion. One is syngamy and the other is triple fusion. Okay, so likewise two types of fertilization takes place. So that type of this phenomenon, okay, is known as double fertilization. Okay, so is it clear? So what is happening in the embryo sac? The pollen grain, after pollination, it will grow down through the style, okay, as a pollen tube, and as it grows down, the generative cells, do you remember what is generative cell? The cell of the pollen grain, isn't it? Its nucleus divides and forms two male gametes. One of that will fuse with the egg nucleus, which is located in the center of the embryo, center of the synergids and egg cell. They are collectively known as what? Egg apparatus, which is located where? In the micropylar region. Do you remember all the structure? So there one of that male gamete fuses with the egg nucleus and form the zygote. That process is known as what? Syngamy. Okay, the fusion of male and female gamete, and the result of syngamy is what? The zygote, that is a diploid cell. Okay, diploid cell, the zygote will be formed, and the other pollen grain, the other male gamete, it will fuse with the polar nuclei of central cell and forms what? A triploid primary endosperm nucleus, okay, or PEN. So as there are three haploid nuclei involved, what are the three haploid nuclei? Two polar nuclei and one male gamete. Okay, so this is known as triple fusion, and there are two types of fusion takes place. What are they? Syngamy. Syngamy is fusion of male and female gamete, isn't it? And triple fusion, that is taking place between the male gamete and the polar nuclei. Okay, so this results there are two times fusion takes place. It is known as double fertilization, and this double fertilization is very peculiar, special to the flowering plants. Okay, and the central cell after this triple fusion becomes what? Primary endosperm nucleus, and develops into the endosperm, and the zygote develops into embryo. So what is the function of endosperm? It gives nourishment to the embryo. Is it clear? So in this diagram, okay, you can see the synergids here. Okay, synergids here, and then the egg cell that becomes the zygote. Okay, actually after fertilization what happens? Synergids start degenerating and zygote will develop into embryo. Okay, and you can see this is the primary endosperm nucleus that divides and form the endosperm. Okay, endosperm will be forming from the primary endosperm nucleus, and the antipodal cells also will get degenerated. Okay, so you can see that this primary endosperm nucleus, the egg cell, okay, the egg cell will divide to form what? Egg cell fuses with the male gamete and form the zygote. The zygote will develop into the embryo. Okay, so there are number of divisions happens in them. Okay, and they will convert into a typical embryo. Okay, and what happened to the endosperm nucleus? This nucleus, primary endosperm nucleus, will divide and form the endosperm. So all this changes, okay, that is after the double fertilization, events of endosperm and embryo development, maturation of ovules into seeds and ovary into fruits, all collectively we call it as the post fertilization changes. Means after the fertilization, what happens to the the egg cell, what happens to the endosperm, that is primary endosperm nucleus, then what happens to the ovules, okay, and ovary, all this together, all these events are collectively called as the post fertilization events. Okay, so let's study what happens to the endosperm in this video. Okay, so first of all, before the zygote's development, the primary endosperm nucleus itself will develop, okay, into a triploid endosperm tissue. These tissues, well, the cells of these tissues will be filled with reserved food materials, and their use is they give nourishment to the developing embryo. Okay, so there are different kinds of endosperm development. You will study that in higher classes. So in the common one, what happened? The PEN. What is PEN? The primary endosperm nucleus undergoes successive nuclear divisions. Okay, means the nuclear divisions will not be following what? The cell wall formation. Means a number of nuclei will form. Okay, so this kind of endosperm development is known as free nuclear endosperm development. Okay, and means first what happened, all the one nuclei will get divided into 2 to 4. Likewise, the nucleus will divide, and it will not be followed by cell wall formation. Usually what happen, any cell division happens at that time, what is happening is first nucleus divides and it will be followed by cytoplasmic division, isn't it? Cell wall or cell membrane will divide the parental cell into 2. So here that will not happen in where? In free nuclear endosperm development type. Okay, only the nucleus will divide continuously, and what that will be forming a free nuclear condition. Okay, so you can see that a very common example of coconut water, you can see that now from the tender coconut, that is actually what? Free nuclear endosperm. Okay, that is the free nuclear endosperm, and you can see a white kernel that you can use for eating. That white kernel is actually cellular endosperm. Means after free nuclear division, slowly what also happens, the cell wall formation takes place. Means the cells also will be forming in that. Okay, so that is shown as that is seen as the white kernel of the coconut. Okay, so in many of the plants, so what is the use of endosperm? Endosperm is actually giving nourishment to the plant. Okay, that to the embryo you can say, not plant, embryo. Okay, so for the development of the embryo, it needs nourishment that is given by the endosperm. Okay, and you can see that in many of the plants, like most of the dicot plants, all the endosperm might be completely consumed by the developing embryo. Okay, so they are known as X-albuminous seeds. Okay, there won't be any endosperm left out, but in here in coconut or in castor seed is actually an example of dicot, but it is an exception which is having endosperm. Okay, so in them, okay, this the endosperm will be left out. That kind of seeds are known as endospermous seeds or albuminous seeds. Clear? So there are examples of what? X-albuminous and albuminous seeds. Albuminous means if the endosperm is left out. Okay, so most of the monocot plants are albuminous or endospermous seeds. Means they keep the in their seeds. Okay, the endosperm will be remaining. But in some except some of the dicot plants, almost all the dicot plants, you can see that before the development of the embryo, okay, the embryo consumes the endosperm completely so that it will not be left out. Is it clear? So this is what X albuminous and albuminous seeds. Clear? So I told you to prepare some of the lessons from the first, some of the portions from the first chapter. So let me give some examples of multiple choice questions. Okay. So the first question is phenotypic ratio in the snapdragon plant in F2 generation is. Question you clearly understood? Phenotypic ratio of snapdragon plant in F2 generation. Okay. Option 1, 1:1. 2, 2:1. Third option is 3:1. And the fourth option is 1:2:1. So which will be the answer? Do you remember what is snapdragon plant? Where you have learned? You have learned in incomplete dominance, isn't it? So in incomplete dominance, both the phenotypic ratio, isn't it, and the genotypic ratio was same, 1:2:1, isn't it? So the answer will be of the fourth option. Is it clear? Next question is, test cross is a cross between. Clear? Test cross is a cross between, first option, hybrid and dominant parent. Second, hybrid and recessive parent. Third option, hybrid and hybrid parent. Fourth option is two distantly related species. Clear? Once again, first option is hybrid and dominant parent. Second is hybrid and recessive parent. Third is hybrid and hybrid parent. Then last option is two distantly related species. So what will be the answer? Second option, isn't it? That is hybrid and or F1 generation, and the recessive parent is called what? Test cross. You have learned, isn't it? One more question related to the test cross. A cross between a dominant phenotype with the recessive parent in order to check its genotype is called. Okay, once again, a cross between a dominant phenotype it is said. Okay, so example, tall plant. Tallness is a phenotypic character, dominant character, isn't it? So a cross between a dominant phenotype with the recessive parent in order to check its genotype is called dash. Option 1, test cross. 2, back cross. 3, monohybrid cross. And fourth is dihybrid cross. So what will be the answer? It will be a test cross, isn't it? Phenotype can be what? Tall for a heterozygous parent or a homozygous parent. So to find out whether it is, what is the genotype, whether it is homozygous or heterozygous, we can do what? Test cross. Is it clear? So the answer is test cross. Next question. In pea plants, yellow seeds are dominant to green. Okay, clear? Condition is, in pea plants, yellow seeds are dominant to green. If heterozygous yellow seeded plants is crossed with a green seeded plant, what ratio of yellow and green seeded plants would you expect in F1 generation? Okay, once again, in pea plants, yellow seeds are dominant to green. If heterozygous yellow seeded plant is crossed with a green seeded plant, what ratio of yellow and green seeded plants would you expect in F1 generation? Okay. First option is 9:1. Second, 1:3. Third option is 3:1. And the fourth option is 50:50. So what will be the option? The answer? Fourth option, isn't it? 50:50. Why? Because it will be just like a test gross. Right? So the answer will be 50:50. Okay? Then write down Mendel's dihybrid ratio for phenotypes. Okay? Question is, write down Mendel's dihybrid ratio for phenotypes. Option 1, 9:3:1:3. Then second option is 3:1. Third option is 9:3:3:1. And the last option is 1:1. So what will be the answer? 9:3:3:1. Okay. So how much answer you could do, or how much problem you can do, you can self analyze, and after hearing the question you pause the video and try to answer by yourself. Okay. So prepare this chapter again. Some questions will do along with the video. Okay. Thank you.